Alright, hello, welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and today I want to start off by pointing out, I saw this was trending on Twitter, YouTubers, notoriously bad for shilling cryptocurrencies and dumping on their fans or whatever else. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things because the YouTube channel has reached a point where I'm starting to see in the comments that this scam where people say WhatsApp me and they've got my same username. So I just wanted to make it clear, I'm never going to ask you to message me on WhatsApp or anywhere. I don't even trust WhatsApp. I would never use WhatsApp. I'm never going to shill you any altcoins. I don't really care for altcoins. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably already figured this out. You will find links to Trezor, Ledger, and a VPN in the description, and those are the only things you'll find. And why is this? Well, because this is just good practice. You should be keeping your crypto on a cold wallet, or you should be holding your own keys on a cold wallet, such as a Trezor or a Ledger. There are plenty available. You don't have to use these links, of course. You can go and do your own research. And also, you should be using a VPN, just my opinion. So if anyone wants any of those things, those are the only things, and I don't really hard shield these. These are just in the description if you want them ever. Sponsors in future is never say never, right? But pretty much never. I doubt it. I don't need the money, to tell you the truth. I can't stand it when I'm watching something and they open up by saying, this is brought to you by, like, that's just not me. That's just not my personality. I'm not about that. Anyway, that's that. First of all, I found this is a really nice illustration. If you didn't know, I'm going to go through this real quick. This is why Bitcoin is superior as a form of money. So Bitcoin, scarcity. It is more scarce than both gold and fiat. Both gold and Bitcoin are scarce. Fiat currencies can be printed at a whim by the issuing authority. There is no top for Bitcoin because there is no bottom for fiat. Gold is divisible into small pieces, but there are physical limitations. Bitcoin can be divided into 100 millionth of a Bitcoin, and these are called Satoshis or Sats, of course. Fiat currency can also be divided, but not in the same way as Bitcoin, only down to, say, a penny or a cent, right? Whereas Bitcoin can go below that currently. Bitcoin is portable. Private keys can be transported on a piece of paper or a USB stick. Gold is not very portable because of its weight. Fiat currencies are portable, but capital controls and regulations make sending large amounts difficult. And remember, it says here you can keep your private keys transported on a piece of paper or a USB stick. Well, you can also memorize 12 words and go anywhere in the world with your Bitcoin, right? Censorship resistant. Bitcoin transactions are peer-to-peer and don't require third parties. Gold is hard to transport, making it easy to seize. Financial institutions can block fiat currency transactions, but nobody can ever stop you sending Bitcoin peer-to-peer. Bitcoin has shown anti-fragility to its attacks. Gold is extremely durable. Most gold mined remains in circulation. Fiat currencies come and go with governments. Bitcoin is verified constantly with mathematical certainty. Both gold and fiat can be counterfeited. Even JP Morgan, I remember a couple of years ago, was found with enormous quantities of tungsten-filled gold in its vaults. Okay, and there was a big issue with some of the stuff coming out of China being filled with tungsten in the middle. So even the big boys can't even be sure all of the time that they're not getting counterfeited gold, right? But there's no way to counterfeit Bitcoin. The only thing Bitcoin doesn't have is the established history. Gold has been around forever, right? 5,000 odd years. Bitcoin has a short and volatile history. Gold is the longest and the best track record as money, and as something that maintains its purchasing power. Fiat currency has a poor track record because by design they always end up going to zero, right? They always end up being inflated to zero. So there you have it. Bitcoin is the superior money. Anything gold can do, Bitcoin does better. The only thing it doesn't have gold beaten on is established history. But let's keep in mind just how durable Bitcoin is. Bitcoin has been attacked multiple times. China has tried to control it multiple times. Russia has tried to control it multiple times. Many nations have gone after the Bitcoin network. And even most recently, we saw China ban Bitcoin mining. And only a few weeks later, guess how much of the hash rate comes out of China still? Do you know the answer? It's 20 odd percent. They still have 20% of the hash rate, even though it's completely illegal there. And they have one of the most totalitarian governments on the planet. Okay? So that just goes to show they have superior control. Everyone monitored, everyone wired into a social credit score system, a central bank digital currency. They're way ahead of the curve. And they still cannot stop people from mining Bitcoin to the extent that 20% of the hash rate comes out of China still. Bitcoin is incredibly durable, and given that it only has 13 years of established history, in a few more decades, people are going to look back at this opportunity and kick themselves for not getting involved. 11.4% of United Arab Emirates residents have invested in cryptocurrency. So this is adoption FIFA is going to launch an NFT platform for soccer fans. The international soccer governing body FIFA has announced the upcoming launch of an NFT platform for fans of the sport across the globe. FIFA Plus Collect will offer digital collectibles perpetuating the greatest game moments of FIFA World Cups, the organisation promised. So if you're a football and NFT fan, look out for that. I've got a 48-second clip to play you here.
The problem is, as my son says with Bitcoin, I mean, you can't cut the head off the snake here. It's decentralized. So if the U.S. government tries to put regulations in that are so onerous for Bitcoin, then the people that would own Bitcoin or want to own Bitcoin will just go to other exchanges overseas that are less regulated and that are more opaque. It may be the case that the people in the Bitcoin market, again, I don't know what everybody's thinking, that to the extent that the government tries to do something like this, it just shows that it's more valuable. Namely, it's something that what Bitcoin is trying to protect you against is the sorts of things that happen in Venezuela or Nigeria or Argentina, where the government wipes you out or confiscates your money, or as Franklin D. Roosevelt did in 32 or 33, confiscate your gold.
You can't cut the head off the snake because it's decentralized. How do you find the head? There is no single head to go after. There is no single point of failure. Bitcoin looks to be approaching a falling wedge. A breakout of this could yield a run to 70k, according to T Analyst. So we'll see if that can play out. Meanwhile, 16% of Americans have used Bitcoin or digital assets. And if we go back here, we are seeing that this is being adopted rather quickly, right? 11% of the United Arab Emirates and 16% of Americans. So this is exploding, and I love to see this. Meanwhile, in Mexico, Bitcoin is freedom, according to one of their senators. And over in India, they have just surpassed the UK as the world's 5th largest economy, based on the IMF data. I'm not sure if that speaks to a rise in India or a fall in the UK. I suspect a little bit of both. And speaking of a fall in the UK, recession confirmed. On-demand delivery apps are pulling out of multiple cities as doubts of their viability grows. The bubble has burst for rapid food delivery as UK firms shed workers. Over in China, a drone with a loudspeaker and a camera pointed at you appears and says, "This community is in total lockdown. Stay in your room." So all right, that's enough of that. And over in France, the resistance against this stuff here is growing. So as you can see, this is a lot of people. And if you think that's a lot of people, you should check out what's going on over in the Czech Republic. Because that is a lot of people, right? That's a lot of people. And apparently they are calling for their government to resign by September the 25th. So we will see what happens there. Over in the UK, the police are telling us to prepare for a tidal wave of violent crime and civil unrest as the cost of living bites this winter. They've also warned us ahead of time that we might have to prepare for blackouts in January and possibly even food shortages. What's so ridiculous about this to me is the chief has apparently drawn up plans to deal with a surge in gangland shootings, burglary and online fraud sparked by this guy's energy war. I mean, is that what it is, really? Nothing to do with inflation making the cost of living more expensive. It's all this guy's fault. If you haven't watched the channel before, I'm not by any means pro this guy. I'm not pro anything, but I do know what inflation is, and I do know that it comes from creating money out of thin air. This is just what happens when inflation gets completely out of control like it has. This is just what happens when people can no longer afford to put meat on their table. And this is what happens when people can no longer afford to heat their houses. People get desperate in these sorts of times, and people are going to start getting quite desperate quite soon, I would think. At least that's what this is hinting at. So we'll see. Amongst all this doom and gloom and the world seemingly falling apart, the technicals are telling us something different. We have reached a pivotal moment once again. The difference between the new orders and the Wilshire 5000 is at similar levels to December 94, March 2003 and November 2008. What's common between all these dates? They all ended up being exceptional risk-reward opportunities. So this is more data pointing to the lows already being in. We will soon find out because the Fed is going to speak over the next couple of weeks. If you've been watching the channel, you'll know I have been calling for the lows to already be in. I think the lows are already in, and until proven wrong, until we take those lows out, then I will stand by that thesis. More data that goes in this favor is this is just the dynamic you'd want to see for a sustained uptrend. With the current pullback in the S&P 500, smart money confidence is rising higher, whilst the dumb money confidence or retail is trending lower. Retail are bearish, institutions are not. And I think what we're seeing here is the smart money and the institutions front running a low CPI print coming over the coming weeks. So let's see if we can get that. The S&P has retraced its entire pandemic run in real terms, as you can see here. Remember, this week is going to be quite busy. It's of course Labor Day, so low volume today, and a bank holiday for America. But on the 6th, tomorrow, we've got the PMI, then the Fed speak on the 7th. We've got jobless claims and Jay Powell to speak on the 8th. On the 9th, we've got more Fed speak. And then on the 12th, CPI expectations before the 13th, we get the actual CPI print. This could well catalyze a new rally, or a hot CPI print would likely open up the trapdoor to an enormous 50% decline in the stock market. So this remains to be seen. I think the lows are in. I think this comes in shockingly low. Of course, I'm open to be wrong. Of course, that is just speculation at this moment in time. Lose the lows and we will go to short positions. And then, of course, on the 21st, we have the FOMC meeting. So that's it from me today. If you want to see any TA, go back and watch the prior videos. All of that stuff still holds. Need to see how this week unfolds. Need to take it patient. Need to make sure I'm not chasing any trades this week. Just going to play patient and look for quality setups. I know they're going to show up over the next week or two, so not much longer to wait, and then we can start putting some risk on and taking advantage of these markets. If you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed, turn the notifications on, drop a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, take care. All the best. Cheers. Bye.